All right, morning everybody. How's my sound? Jeannie, how's my sound? Good. Kristen, sounds good. All right, good to see you guys. Hope everybody had a great weekend. We're into August now, the home stretch of summer. Went by too quick. Um, so we're going to finish up. This will be part 3 of the 3-part Letting Go series. And please feel free to chat in. Questions, comments, observations, always welcome. And again, it's always a richer experience when we're sharing. And so just to kind of do a recap. So we've talked about in our first session about one of the things that makes it hard to let go of things, especially ideas that we've had or goals that we've had or things that we identify with, right? That it makes it hard because when things don't work out the way that we think they're supposed to, right? And I emphasize the way we think they're supposed to. We tend to look at it sometimes, with a kind of a victim mentality, and it's really a choice, right? When we're experiencing change, and really letting go is about a part of a change process. We have choices. Do I look at this event, this whatever the thing is, right, that happened to me that I'm having a hard time letting go? It could be something from your past. It could be childhood. It could be a relationship. It could be some failed endeavor or an endeavor that didn't go the way you thought, right? And we'll talk about that in just a second. So the question becomes, am I a victim, or am I going to treat this as I'm the beneficiary of this experience? And that's a choice. So, if I had something that I endeavored to do and it didn't go the way I anticipated it, right? How I conjured it up, well, that can appear to be a failure, all right? When in actuality, it might have been just this like amazing learning experience. And I was reminded of something when I was at the gym this weekend. I was listening to this podcast, and we've talked about this, I think, a couple times, but not for a while. Is that physiologically, okay? Um, uh, Being nervous and being excited physiologically are the exact same thing. It's just simply how we label it. So if I'm an athlete getting ready to perform, I'm excited, okay? If I'm somebody that's giving a speech for the first time, I'm petrified, right? I'm nervous. But physiologically, our bodies behave the exact same way. It's simply the label we give it, okay? So about a victim or a beneficiary, about life's events, right? If I'm a beneficiary, I can easily let go. If I'm a victim, not so much, okay? And then also life's options are really as varied as the stars. I mean, it's really up to us on how we choose to accept things and how we choose to adapt to change, how we accept what's going on, right? In a way that allows us to really learn from it, because we're here to learn. It's what we're here to do, right? And so life's options are as varied as the stars. And I think probably next week we'll start working on forgiveness, and that might be, I think, a couple part series. So when we look at life's options, right, it's a matter of us saying, okay, well, how am I going to address this, right? So I'm not lingering in whatever this is I've got to move on from or not letting go of. And so what we're going to do is I'm going to give you 5 strategies for letting go, and they're going to be mostly visual with not a lot of text. And I'll guarantee you one of the 5 you will identify with. Okay, if not, call me and we'll get a 6th for you. All right, we're going to give you 5 visual strategies. They'll all look familiar to you. So the first one is ride the wave. Really simple. And this quote, right? You can't stop the waves, but you can learn to surf. And so, again, in life's changes, right? So we have in our mind this like fixed context about what this fixed construct, okay, really not context, but construct that we have about how things should be. When they don't go that way, okay, then we have a hard time of letting go. So riding the wave is just that, hey, I'm going to ride this wave. But guess what? No matter which way that wave goes, no matter what happens, I will eventually be on shore, no matter what. Okay. So learn to ride the wave. And the ride is super fun. Now you're riding the wave, you get to learn along the way. And that's really where the juicy stuff lives. Okay. Is in the things that we haven't pre-planned, and in the things that that are new to us, is where all the juicy stuff lives. Okay. So ride the wave. That's number one. Number two, this is one of my favorite, these are my words, and it's really one of my favorite concepts that I kind of piece together from a lot of different works that I've studied. But no matter where you are exactly where you're supposed to be. Otherwise, you'd be someplace else. Now, that sounds like amazingly obvious, right? But you might have had a construct of where you want to be at a certain point or at the end of a certain event, okay? And you're not there. But wherever you are, wherever you landed, it's exactly where you were supposed to be. Because in that moment, that's exactly what you're supposed to learn. And if you can understand that and embrace it, then it's a lot easier to let go of things, okay? So no matter where you are exactly where you're supposed to be. Otherwise, you wouldn't be there. The universe doesn't work that way. The universe doesn't put you in places you're not supposed to be. Okay. Might be a little painful at times, might be hard to understand, but whatever it is, you are exactly where you're supposed to be because you're there to learn, right? That's your maximum learning experience. Okay, number three, all rivers lead to the ocean. Right? So rivers are mostly, okay, of course, more shallow than the ocean. Some run faster, some run slower, right? Mississippi runs a little slower, but a brook in Maine running into the Atlantic Ocean or a stream, right, is runs a little faster, whatever the case may be. But all rivers lead to the ocean, all right? And in the ocean, that's where the ocean is deep and rich. Okay. And so whatever path, whatever river you're on, might not be the one you thought, okay? It is going to take you to where life is deep and rich. All right, so that's number three. All rivers lead to the ocean. Number four, and these are all concepts that I think most of us have heard. At least we've heard at least, a couple of the five. So this number four, nothing is random. Nothing is a coincidence, and I mean nothing. Now, not everything, not every coincidence or every event is monumental or gargantuan in its nature, okay? But nothing is random, and because of that, look for the new opportunities, okay? If some construct that's holding us back, okay, because we can't let go of what we contextualized as an outcome that we wanted. Well, the fact that we didn't get it, okay, is not random, and it's not failure, right? It means we're not supposed to be there. We're supposed to be someplace else. And that means when something happens, okay, that's kind of out of what we anticipated, it's not random. And look for the new opportunities because they're everywhere around you. That's the whole reason why you're there. The whole reason why you're here, not where you thought you were going to be, is because you're supposed to look for the new opportunities, right? So that's number four. And then lastly, number five is don't get stuck. Not letting go of things, not letting go of things, leaves you real almost in a sense of paralysis. And I'll share something that's fairly personal. So I had some forgiveness that I had to do about an event when I was much younger, and I was in meditation one day, and I don't know why, but that was when, and this was just really about 5 or 6 years ago, and it was an event that happened probably at that point probably 30 years ago, and I was in meditation, and for whatever reason, that was my moment for forgiveness. Okay, and it left me in some smaller part of my life, but nevertheless, I was stuck on something, and I let it go, and it was the most amazing experience. And I could literally feel it coming up through my spine. and actually just moving out of, moving out of my body, moving out of my system. And so in any event, when we don't let go of things, okay, it has at some level a form of paralysis to it. And so when we say, well, that person's stuck on this or whatever the case may be, it's really code for paralysis. It's really life paralysis. And so when we don't let go, we're stuck. And one of the fastest ways to get unstuck is by admitting I'm stuck, right? It's really, once we acknowledge something, okay, it's we can know things and we can sense things and we can feel like something's out of balance. But if we don't acknowledge it and even acknowledge it verbally, right? Better to write it down, but even better, good, better, or best, right? Good is to acknowledge it. Better would be to write it down. Best would be to write it down and say it, okay? If we don't acknowledge what's holding us back and just own it, all right? No shame in it, just own it, okay? That's the first step to getting unstuck. And so when we know we have something that's holding us back, all right, we're socialized because of the competitiveness, especially in Western culture, the competitiveness of our society. We're socialized not to accept things that would be characterized in a current social sense as a weakness, but they're not a weakness. Okay, it's a learning opportunity, and so by acknowledging what I'm stuck on is the first step is to getting unstuck. Okay, and it's that paralysis. I think we can all look around and we can find those pretty easily. So so just real quick, right? So we got 5. We got ride the wave. No matter where you are, you're exactly where you're supposed to be. All rivers lead to the ocean. Okay, the ocean, right? That's where it's deep and rich. Nothing's random. Look for the opportunity, and don't get stuck by not letting go. So those are our five visual strategies. I tried to pick the pictures carefully so that they could resonate, of course, with the language. And let's see what we got for chats here. Yeah, Lucian. Yeah, lifetime learning. Yeah, that's what we're here for. That's the only reason why we're here, is to learn. Catherine. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, uplifting process. And so really going back to the beginning, right? It's really up to us. It's a choice. Sometimes we're not ready for the choice, but it's okay as long as we can acknowledge, well, I'm not ready yet. I'm not ready to let this go, but at least I've acknowledged it. And it's some of our hardest experiences are the ones that are the most rich, right? In life lessons. So if we don't have any other chats, looks like we're good. All righty, well, good to see everybody. And I got one more chat here. Yeah, Lucian, thank you. Yeah, you're welcome, Lucian. Thank you to everyone for showing up. And I think next 2 weeks, we'll start working on forgiveness. All right, have a great week. Take care.